Okay,
Or Thursday.
we are now on. So let me give you the countdown.
Fuck Friends. It's a terrible show.
Frasier is better.
Frasier's fantastic. Friends, terrible.
5.
It's very important that we got that out there.
Oh God, hold on a second. Sorry.
That 5.
I forgot. I got distracted. Forgot to do something. Okay.
4 comes Nick.
Okay. Here's the real countdown. Are you ready?
Comes 2.
Chandler, Phoebe, Rachel,
Oh!
Ross, Joey, go.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Oh yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's Game That Tune back in the house once again. Oh man, it's your boy John Harrington here. We got John Regan, say hey.
Hey.
We got Jesse Moore, say hey.
Hey.
We got David Fleming, say hey.
Hey.
How we doing, guys? It's a fantastic night for Game That Tune. We're doing things a little different tonight. Not that it matters if you're listening in podcast form, but a little Game That Tuesday night. A little change of pace. You know, we got it's an American holiday that we celebrate once a year on our usual Wednesday. So we're coming early this week, and it's Game That Tune on Tuesday. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a blast, even though we're clearly out of sorts. We're just 24 hours ahead. But if you're just joining us for the first time, what we're gonna do is listen to some video game tunes. We've each brought 3 songs from a game. We try and guess the games based on the songs, a little bit of trivia, goof off, have a lot of fun, barely talk about the games. And the winner at the end of the night gets to play a bonus tune and pick the theme for the next episode. And I believe it was Mr. David Fleming that won last week's show. So, David, what's that fantastic theme you got for us tonight?
The theme for tonight is handhelds.
Oh, yeah. I think we've had this theme before, and I think it's always a fantastic theme because, David, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of games that are on handheld systems.
There are a few, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oddly enough.
I'll have our guys fact check that. But yes, I believe the number is lots. So always fun going with the handhelds, and I feel like we need to kind of set handhelds as a theme every so often because I tend to ignore handhelds. Like I've been thinking of like themes where it's like the series. It's like, oh yeah, what's like the second or third game in that series? Well, the handheld one doesn't count. Okay, you just always skip over those handheld ones. They don't count.
About Kingdom Hearts.
Maybe. I was trying to build the story to put the story of Kingdom Hearts back together in anticipation of Kingdom Hearts 3, and it turns out you just can't do it. So even with the handhelds, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, because you also have to factor in the Japan-only mobile game.
Yeah, that's I did not even realize that was a factor. That did not come up in my research. So great. That's a few more pages in my Kingdom Hearts compendium that I'm going to have to complete before deciphering Kingdom Hearts 3. But anyway, handheld games, they are numerous. They are frequently overlooked, and they have fantastic tunes. So, Johnny, I think we just got to jump into it, man. What do we have?
Game 1.
Alrighty. So this game consists of 4 stages, and unlike other games in the series, there are no sub-weapons, and hearts are used to restore health. The player has 3 lives, and weapons can be upgraded, such as the whip into the chain whip and the flame whip, but any enemy damage will downgrade an upgraded weapon. Oh, and there are no stairs.
Oh, good.
Huh.
All right, how you guys feeling?
I am feeling very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
The first song clued in the system. Second song clued in the series. And from there, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing, but I think we got it.
All right. Whip them out. Let's see.
More puns, please.
We got let's see. Johnny says Castlevania. That's wrong. And John and David say Castlevania, and that's correct.
Oh,
I said Castlevania for Game Boy. I feel like that should be.
No, that's wrong.
All right.
Spider-Man screw job. That's wrong.
I like how you didn't even specify, like, you said Castlevania for Game Boy, while they said Castlevania Adventure. Just no, they said Castlevania. That's right. He said Castlevania. That's wrong.
I'll say
Pretty much.
Castlevania. John's wrong. Classic. He's pulling a classic Johnny move. I like it.
That's fine.
I deserve this.
That's what you get.
Castlevania Adventure, the Game Boy Castlevania. I have never played a Game Boy Castlevania. That is
Oh yeah.
assuming it's hard and the screen is small.
Okay, so I do have it for I have it on Virtual Console on my 3DS. So I was dicking around with it earlier, and like it's like if you've played the first Castlevania and that's it, and then someone said, "Hey, here's Castlevania on the go," you'd be like, "Well, this is kind of cool." But like having played other Castlevanias, it's very difficult, and in some ways it's difficult like unfairly. Like there's a lot of pixel perfect jumping that's just really dumb, especially with bats that respawn every time you fall. And there are no stairs, which is crazy. Is weird. Like that's a thing that there's no stairs in this game. Like everything's are ropes that you climb up.
So they screw you, man. You can't ever take the stairs. They
Yeah.
didn't make it easy on you.
And the levels are really, really long. And like if you lose those 3 lives, you have to start all the way over. And it is a pain. Like this game isn't forgiving. Like it's an Admiral game because it's the first Castlevania on the Game Boy, which was kind of a feat,
Yeah.
But you can skip it now.
Now, what about they apparently remade it for WiiWare? Any idea if that made it any better? Like, would it help?
I don't know. I could only imagine they would make it better. Like I feel like if they made it worse, it would be quite the feat. They're like, this time you don't even get a whip.
I seem to remember the WiiWare version scaling back the difficulty, but it's from what little I played of it, I remember it's definitely in that like early Castlevania, you have to memorize this level perfectly in order to get through it.
Yeah.
That doesn't really float my boat on a system that runs on batteries. I don't know. Knowing my frustration with NES Castlevanias, I don't want there to be a chance that like the batteries also die as I'm in the middle of a perfect run through a level. Not that it would happen, but man, those old Castlevania games, man, they were brutal. I was. Did you guys catch any of the Castlevania stuff from Summer Games Done Quick, like last week or whenever the hell that was?
Oh no, I missed it. How was it?
Too.
There was a guy doing a pretty killer Castlevania 3 run.
Ooh.
And I'm watching it, and it said something like Sypha run. I'm like, what the fuck does Sypha run mean? And then he makes it further than I ever made it in Castlevania 3 and unlocks a secret character. And I'm like, what? Like, you can do what? I literally had no idea that if you made it to whatever level 3 in Castlevania 3, you could eventually unlock an alternate character and play the game as like some kind of ghost that can freeze things.
Huh.
So it was mind-blowing.
Wait,
Cool.
so
I know there are 3 characters in that
just
game.
say, is that in addition to the other characters?
No, that's the thing. I learned just last week that there were other characters.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
I never made it far enough or did well enough at that game to know that would happen. Like,
Did you get to see the little hunchback dude with the dagger?
maybe I did get to that when I was a kid because that sounds familiar now. But like, when I was watching that, I'm like, yeah, okay, nope, definitely never made it here. Probably never went that direction on the split path, and never made it that far. Like, they're fun games. Love Castlevania. Love whipping monsters. Love a crazy castle setting. I'm bad at them because they're very fucking hard. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Castlevania: The Adventure is different, but no, it's probably not.
No.
Hard, relentless. Like you probably won't have any fun with that game.
I don't doubt it. I'm
Go to
looking
one
at
of the Metroidvania Castlevanias. Those are the good ones.
pretty multiple tones of gray. Which Belmont do you get to play as?
I think it's Christopher Belmont. This one takes place like 100 years before the first Castlevania.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Okay. The storyline in the Castlevania games is very important because it's definitely not a Belmont tries to fight Dracula every single time. It's important that we establish that timeline early because it's going to be very important the next time a Belmont tries to kill Dracula. But yeah, I don't know, man. I love me some Castlevania games, but yeah, I suck ass at them. So this is probably not my cup of tea. Johnny, what's your experience with this one? Did it inspire you to want to wear more leather back when you were a kid?
Weird thing about me,
Oh, I can't wait.
I've never played a Castlevania game ever.
Oh wow,
Get the fuck out.
they're pretty good.
What's that, John?
Never, ever.
Never ever.
Unbelievable.
Not
I
even
mean,
for like 5 minutes. Like, I've never played one.
Wow, John. You have so much to learn about this family, the Belmonts, and their problems with this guy. His name's Dracula.
You might have heard of them.
Yeah. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe you saw Hotel Transylvania 2. Same
Same guy, Adam Sandler.
And man, the Belmonts have issues with this Dracula guy. And man, what the hell? How have you never touched a controller while Castlevania's been in the system? This makes no sense. Like, it's so just standard NES, and I mean,
Yeah.
Well, even that, the Genesis Castlevania was really good.
Oh yeah, Bloodlines was sick.
oh man, John, you got to rectify this. I think that quite frankly, you need to take the rest of the night off and do a concurrent live stream with this, where you try Castlevania for the first time, and you may rejoin the show when you unlock Sypha, the character that you unlock after the 3rd level of Castlevania 3. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll be back within, I don't know, a few days.
I have the day off
I
tomorrow.
We should have a live stream of just John playing Castlevania in one hand, playing Link's Awakening in the other, while watching an Alien movie. Just knock all these out all at once.
Yes. Good Lord, John. You owe it to yourself. I mean, seriously, you're... Ugh. Have you ever... I ask you this, John. Have you ever claimed to be an 80s kid? Because, quite frankly, you're not really convincing me here.
I mean,
Do you know what a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is?
yes.
Have you heard of the...
What was that, John?
They're like the Belmonts, but they're green, and instead of fighting Dracula, they fight a Shredder. Maybe you've heard of...
I've heard of those guys. No, I watched the shit out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid. I just somehow Castlevania just escaped me.
I'm trying to figure out which would be better if you added in a new Ninja Turtle who wears like yellow, named Belmont, who wields a whip for their weapon, or if Dracula gets the Shredder armor.
Ooh, both are good. Okay, so what if in what if in one of the like Castlevania games, Dracula drinks the ooze and turns into Super Dracula?
Oh my God, Super Dracula!
He's still the giant bat form, but with giant like padded shoulders.
I thought he was the boss in Super Castlevania.
Was it like a wrestler version of Dracula as the boss in Super Castlevania?
It's Kevin Nash as Dracula.
Oh Jesus, John, you need to rectify this. You owe it to yourself. I'm embarrassed for you for I can't believe that I jokingly directed the conversation your way, only for you to reveal that you've never played any of these games.
And it'll make Captain N make more sense as well.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you even keep up with that show, man? That show is so deep. It's like
he said he's never seen that one.
Yeah, we've been over this. I've never seen Captain N.
He's done nothing that we've done as children.
Really?
Yeah, I never watched Captain N.
John, go to Patreon. We need more money so that we can just get John to take a day off of work and fucking catch up on some stuff. Like, John's got a lot of work to do. Oh.
I mean, part of me is like, how could you not watch Captain N? But honestly, you're probably better off.
Oh, it's all right.
How could you not watch the Double Dragon live action movie? Actually, now that I said, oh Lord,
I did see Super Mario Brothers in theaters.
That's good.
Didn't we all? I mean, come on. The preview showed him using super scopes to kill Dennis Hopper. I mean, like, you had to go see it. Anyway, that's we'll get back to that on another podcast one day. The re-education of John Regan podcast.
That sounds great.
That tune. Jesse, anything else on Castlevania Adventure for Game Boy?
No, I think that pretty much solves it.
Yeah. What an adventure this discussion was, Johnny. Oh my God,
we learned a lot about Johnny.
Yeah.
Why you can't trust him.
Game 2.
So, this is our fan request, which comes to us from frequent requester and friend of the show at Dire Hunchcrow on Twitter. And according to an interview with the developer of this game, the 9 main characters are all based on the Enneagram of personalities. They are the Achiever, the Investigator, the Enthusiast, the Loyalist, the Peacemaker, the Challenger, the Helper, the Individualist, and the Reformer. So how y'all feeling?
Slightly okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, let's see some answers. So, John Regan says Murica, which would normally I would give a correct answer, but that's wrong. John Harrington says Shin Megami something, which is incorrect. Jesse has the correct answer of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I'm sorry, did my mic cut out? Jesse has the correct answer of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
No. We're not stretching for time. I just don't know what that means.
It's the name of a game for the DS.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
It's kind of a cool concept. It's basically like a point and click adventure game, but it's kind of split up in 2 halves. It's like half visual novel, half point and click adventure game. It's all centered on this mystery. You wake up on a cruise ship. John, you okay?
It's just, it sounds like such a riveting game. It's half novel, half point and click adventure game. Like, woohoo! You know.
Well, I mean, you get captivated by the mystery because your main playable character, you wake up on a cruise ship and discover that the cruise ship is sinking and you have 9 hours to escape. And then you find out there are 8 other people and you have to break off into teams to go through the ship, exploring and finding these doors with switches that'll eventually unlock and get you to safety.
Okay.
So I think there's like, I was double checking. There's 6 different endings depending on like how you answer questions in the story portion. So you can't find the true ending on your first playthrough. You have to play through the game and like go through all the branching paths to see all the endings and get the true ending to it.
Word. Is it like the kind of thing where you kind of learn more and use it to your advantage the next playthrough, or like does it change? Is it like a Nier Automata thing where every time it's a little different and reveals a little something else about the story, or is there a time travel element? Like, is the moon crashing into the cruise ship? Is what I'm asking.
No.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Okay. It's good to know.
You have to play it multiple times because to get to the true ending, you have to get to another ending because that contains like hints and information that you can use to get to the actual true ending.
Okay.
But it's cool because there's the visual novel half, which is, it's a visual novel half. You've got these 9 characters. Some of them are all out for themselves. Some of them are trying to like build the team and whatnot. And then the actual like game part is you get locked into a room and you have to escape the room. And it's all these puzzles in there. Like sometimes it's a math puzzle where you get a calculator and you have to figure out the numerics that way. Sometimes, there's like those classic sliding magic tile puzzles. But everything that you get, it's not like you build up your repertoire and you build up your items throughout the game. Every single room is self-contained. So like you'll go into a room, the door locks and it just says, all right, escape. And then you have to kind of look around like, all right, what do I do?
Okay. So, and you said this came out for the DS, the original DS, right?
Yes.
So this predated like the escape room craze by several years then.
Yes.
Okay. So this seems like it would play a lot better these days. Like, I'm not saying I know nothing of this game. I'm not saying it didn't play well back then, but it seems like in a escape room crazy America where that's just like what you do with your management team at work on a get together. Seems like an escape room game set on a cruise ship would be right up some people's alley right about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it did carry on because this is part of the sequels. They started calling it Zero Escape because you go 9990.
Yeah, are you sure it didn't? They really could have just gone 10 hours, 10 persons, 10 doors, and
I mean that would be the obvious answer.
Yeah, like just what's the difference? There's another guy now, like, and another door, and you get an extra hour. Okay, the C3 is not very interesting. Thank you, though. Whoever made this. Uh, but this is a series.
Yeah, it goes on. And I don't remember which one because there's 2 sequels. There's Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, and Zero Time Dilemma. I think it's Time Dilemma where it actually introduces time travel.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Man, yeah, I have never heard of this at all. This is sounds kind of fun. I mean,
It's pretty cool, and it's interesting too because it looks good. Because it's like a visual novel, so it has to look good. But you'd think that being set on a cruise ship, it would be like this very fancy, decadent, but all of the rooms are like in the bowels of the workings of the ship. So it's very grungy and industrial and really adds to the like, oh God, how am I going to get out of here? I'm going to die.
immigrants singing their songs and dancing and, Jack and Rose fucking in a car. And then all the people running the furnaces, they get trapped by the water when they hit the iceberg. Wait, what game is this?
Gex 64. No, wait. 9 hour.
I knew I was getting my wires crossed there for a second. So cool. So I don't know. Do you want to spoil the game? When the ship sinks, does it break apart and crash into the water and then fall to the bottom of the ocean, or does it fall to the bottom of the ocean and then from the impact and the pelagic current underwater then breaks apart? I'm sorry, I'm really stuck on the Titanic thing.
Yeah, you are.
It's not the Titanic though.
No, it's not the Titanic.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 'cause I've got myself pretty convinced that it's the Titanic.
No,
And
I'm pretty sure. What is? Damn,
saw
I'm
that-
trying to remember what the name of the actual ship is.
And there were approximately 8 to 9 doors on that ship that I
Is it
counted.
the Lusitania?
Oh, different ship.
They should make a Saw movie that takes place on the Titanic as it's going down.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, I finally got out of that death trap. Oh shit, the ship is sinking. Great.
Oh God, yeah. Dude, I mean, why haven't they made Saw 2 Cruise Control yet? That just seems like it would make perfect sense.
They just make another Saw 2.
But it's on a boat.
I would love for that Saw dude to lift off his mask and it turns out it's Billy Zane.
Oh,
Man.
that would have been perfect. Or Billy Zane rides in on a little tricycle or whatever, like the doll does in that movie. I don't remember the Saw movies very well at all.
I'm like, instead of combining Saw with Titanic, can we combine Saw with Speed, where you have all these death traps, but a ticking clock where you have to keep escaping death traps or else you'll explode?
You've got to escape 50 death traps or you're going to die. Well, that seems like a lot of work.
It's almost like that one movie with is it Jason Statham, and like he can't he has
Right.
heart has to beat a certain adrenaline level or something or he dies, and so he's just constantly running around, and I think at one point he has to have sex with someone, and
Yeah, dude, got to get that adrenaline up. Those movies are a stone cold classic.
Crank, is that what they're called?
Yeah, dude. Crank 2, Cruise Control, also with Saw, and Escape Rooms on DS would be pretty fucking cool.
I'm really upset that you've stuck on Cruise Control as the sequel subtitle for everything, because I would really like to see Crank 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Well, Crank 2 actually was the electricity themed one, and it was high voltage. So
It would have been so much better if it was Crank 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I know, because those movies were so much fun. They really should have been a little more self-aware with that. But yeah, man. Okay, so a 3DS escape room game starring Chev Chelios, voiced by Jason Statham, where you've got to not only keep your adrenaline and your electricity up, but you a certain number of rooms before the ship sinks with a bomb on it. I mean, these games sound pretty dope, David. So, like, which one of the games are we describing right now?
Well, the request was for the original.
So this is not that then.
No.
Okay. We're gonna work on this because I think we got some potential here. We gotta kind of gussy up this script a little bit, figure out some character motivations. And are we married to the maritime setting? I don't know.
Should this be a Patreon goal?
Yes. Johnny, what's the name of this movie? DS game now.
9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, 2 cruise control.
Yep.
That's really God. If you really made a movie with that title, like, how long before it's sort of like, look, you just
Listen,
can't.
I think you're high on cocaine. I think you need to leave Hollywood immediately. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. See you later.
Whoa, hold on. An executive in Hollywood high on cocaine? Surely you jest.
That crank away.
That time you did too much cocaine for Hollywood.
Episode title.
Episode title.
The result was 9 hours, 9 persons.
Actually, no. Episode title: The time you did too much cocaine in Hollywood: cruise control.
Cruise control. Well, cool game. I like the music. It's moody and interesting. Sounds, now that I know that this is a visual novel and point and click game, the music makes a little more sense. It sets the atmosphere for the dread of opening doors on a sinking ship. I like it.
Shout out to Shinji Hosoe, the composer, who also worked on Ridge Racer and Xenosaga.
Ridge Racer. I can't resist.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. So, cool, man. Thanks, Tire Crow, for the request. David, anything else before we move on?
No, it's a pretty cool game, and it's a pretty moody soundtrack.
Hell yeah. The show, we got to keep the speed going into the next game, or else the show's going to explode. So, Johnny, let's move on to Game 3, Cruise Control. The show that could not slow down.
Game 3.
Really?
This is the first game in the series where you could control one character's flight.
Well, there are more games from this series on the Wikipedia page for list of Game Gear games than I thought. So I hope I got the right one.
All right. Let's see some answers. All right. David and Jesse say Tails Adventure, which is incorrect. John says Sonic Chaos, which is correct. This is Sonic Chaos for the Game Gear and Master System, but I chose Game Gear music.
We've used Tails Adventure on the show before, I believe.
I think we have. I'm not 100% positive.
I couldn't remember if we had or not, so I took a shot in the dark.
Where's your photographic GTT memory? I mean,
Hey, you remember the GTT 100 lightning round?
good times. So what's so chaotic about Sonic Chaos, John? Is it Knuckles?
Everything. No, so
Okay.
there's no Knuckles in this game. This is the first Game Gear game where the first Sonic Game Gear game where they actually start getting kind of good. Because I don't know if you remember, with Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, you couldn't play as Tails, you didn't have a spin dash, and you had a lot of like blind ass jumps you had to make, and a lot of times you were wrong because it was like they took the Master System and so the Master System has a higher screen resolution than the Game Gear. So on Sonic 2, and they're basically the same system though, besides that. So Sonic 2 for Game Gear is like Master System cropped. And it's like they didn't design the levels around the idea that like, oh yeah, I can't see as far ahead as I can on the, Master System. Sonic Chaos, they got it to where like, no, like you can actually see what's coming up at like a reasonable, thing. And this is the first Game Gear game that I actually got a little bit jealous because I didn't have a Game Gear as a kid. And this had some interesting concepts in it that didn't appear on the Sonic Genesis games. Like there were rocket boots you could get. And there were also like a spring boot or a spring pogo stick that you could hop onto. And also you could fly as Tails. This came out before Sonic 3. So at the time I was like, fuck! like
Now, the rocket boots, did they let you like fly or hover, or did they just make you go faster?
No, there were speed shoes that make you go faster, and then the rocket boots you fly with.
Okay.
That's good because I was going to say if they just designed super fast shoes, like come on, they already had that, and two, it all seems self-defeating in the face of Sonic's immense speed. But what was the other thing? A giant pogo stick?
It was like a pogo stick or spring like boot power up. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Why I said giant.
But you would jump on it, and then you could, you bounce on it until you jump off or hit a wall or something like that. And there's a level, I just played this like recently, like Sunday, and there was a level where you can sort of break through the ceiling like Mega Man X does with his helmet in Mega Man X, where you use those spring boots while you do it, and that was kind of fun. It's like skyrocketing in the air, just like destroying things, like sweet.
Yep. There's this other popular game centered around jumping and breaking things with your head. It's popular, really popular. Oh God, I'm blanking on it.
Alex Kidd.
Super Mario Brothers.
Oh Christ!
One of you had it. I'll leave that up to the viewer. Yeah, things with your head is a popular thing in these games. So it's too bad it took Sonic a pogo stick to be able to do it. That's
Well, in the level,
that-
you can also just jump and do it, but there's a pogo area where it's way more fun.
You mean Bonk, don't you? He's the baby with the big head that he would hit stuff with.
Oh, dude, yeah, Bonk the hydrocephalic caveman thing. Love those games. Wait, what's that word I'm looking for? I don't love the Bonk games. I try. They're not very fun.
And
Uh,
one thing I also like about the Sonic game compared to, say, Sonic 2 on Game Gear is instead of just casually finding Chaos Emeralds on the ground, you do get to go into special stages and earn them this time.
Right.
That bugged me so much in the Sonic 2 for Game Gear. Like, there's a Chaos Emerald just laying there.
It belongs in a museum.
I feel like this should be guarded somehow.
Yeah. Should be at least some sort of riddle to unlocking it, or I don't know. Maybe who was in charge of hiding all the Infinity Stones? Can we get them to hide the Chaos Emeralds? No, they didn't do a very good job.
There's a few problems with the game though. Like I mentioned I played it this weekend and I beat it in like 35 minutes. However, maybe that is a pro given how fast the Game Gear goes through batteries.
I was going to say, it was on Game Boy. It had to be fast.
Oh yeah. So was that at Summer Games Done Quick, John? Were you speed running this game?
No, I wasn't even trying to beat it that fast. It is just so easy. Like,
do you think someone could beat it faster than you?
What's that? Oh. Jesse, say it again?
Do you think that someone could beat it faster than you?
Oh, yeah, easily, for sure. Because, again, I wasn't trying to beat it fast. I was just casually playing it and beat it in like...
Are you going to be practicing for next year's Games Done Quick as our GTT representative?
Maybe. Maybe that could become my thing.
There you go.
Well, you beat it in 35 minutes. The world record is 11 minutes and 23 seconds.
You got that.
This number is good, man.
Yeah.
You got. So yeah, that's a new Patreon goal. Get Johnny good enough at games to get him on a Games Done Quick run at some point. It always bugs me when I hear you talking up those games done quick, and then they're playing Sonic or like Sonic 2 or Sonic and Knuckles, a game that I know you've played front to back, and they're still doing something that amazes you. It's like, now hold on, John. Nothing should amaze you. Like, come on. I thought you knew how to do all these crazy skips and glitches too. Like, are you?
No.
Yeah, we used to call you Professor ROM Hack,
Yeah. I'm just saying. I thought you had the Knuckles code just like you saw it like the Matrix. You could just like go in there and just like take it apart and do whatever you wanted to it. You can't do that?
No, I haven't developed that ability yet. I've been working on it. I'm almost there.
You're not the one, but for Sonic and Knuckles? Ugh. How embarrassing.
That sounds like the worst Sonic fan fiction of being Neo of Sonic and Knuckles.
I like that it's also not even about just being Neo of the Sonic the Hedgehog world, but specifically Sonic and Knuckles.
As Neo flew into Mushroom Hill Zone. Agent Smith chuckled. You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
No, there is no gold ring.
I don't know enough about Sonic and Knuckles to make another reference. So, John, what zone was Trinity stuck in to, Neo had to save her?
That's probably Doomsday Zone.
There you go. Cool. Anything else on Sonic Chaos, John? Your favorite game in the Sonic series, at least in terms of Game Gear.
I still need to play Sonic Triple Trouble on the Game Gear. That one may be better than this. I don't know. But so far, it's my favorite Sonic Game Gear game. It still has a few problems. It's still got the weird Sonic Game Gear physics that are different from the Genesis version. And that gets a little annoying. But another thing that made me another jealous thing is this game also has the Super Peel Out move from Sonic CD. And again, as
love it.
somebody with a Genesis and no Sega CD, I was like, "Fuck!" like, I want this.
Yeah, they knew how to get you, John.
Oh.
You were the one, and they lured you in. The peel out move was a dying trinity, and Agent Smith was the guys running Sega, and they knew to get you to buy this game. They just had to dangle that peel out move in front of you, and you would come flying in there in your badass leather duster. I'm really losing the thread on these Matrix Sonic references. But,
Is there such a thing as a badass duster?
I didn't say badass.
I thought all dusters were badass.
I'm gonna argue no dusters are badass.
I'm gonna argue that you just haven't worn the right duster yet, John. So new Patreon goal: get John a proper badass duster. Duster master race, and fuck yeah, Sonic Chaos. A perfectly fine Game Gear Sonic game. Anything else, John?
No, that's about it.
Good.
Game 4.
So, this is one of 2 games available on the system that feature force feedback rumble. The other game was covered in episode 11 of Game That Tune. Who's got some guesses?
I'm having some episode 1 flashbacks.
What now? Episode that shall not be named.
So, Jesse has Mario for Game Boy Color, which is unfortunately incorrect. The two Johns have the correct answer of WarioWare Twisted.
Yeah. Twist.
If I recall, this wasn't just a rumble thing. It was also like a motion control thing, wasn't it?
It had a built-in gyroscope because the entire crux of the game is built around you moving and tilting and twisting the Game Boy Advance to play the micro games. And this game is fucking great.
Yeah, it's a WarioWare game. They, by and large, are. I'm comfortable saying that all WarioWare games are great. I've played one of them, so I'm an expert.
Where's that hot take button? Hot take.
We need a button for expert opinions when you qualify them and then immediately disqualify them. I played one of them.
I mean, every WarioWare game is fun, but I truly, sincerely believe this is probably the best WarioWare game.
Now, David, I've only played one WarioWare game, and that means I'm going to argue with you. Favorite WarioWare Smooth Moves for the Wii, because that's the one I've played, and it's the best one ever. No, this argument doesn't need to take place, but Smooth Moves is fucking dope, and you know it.
Yeah, it is.
You've played more than just Smooth Moves, so I should maybe listen to you.
John, I recall playing a WarioWare game on the GameCube with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we played like the original with you over at John's house.
And I remember that was the introduction of the Wavebird controller, and like we were still also excited about it.
I don't remember that at all. Truly, I don't. I honestly can't confirm that there is a WarioWare game indeed. But anyway, cool. So, David, what is the crux of this game? What is it that you do to play these games? I'm unclear on what this game's about.
I was just gonna let that pause right out. No, like the gyroscope controls, you literally you've got the Game Boy Advance and you twist it, and like that's how you do everything. And all of these micro games come at you, 5 seconds at a time, and you have to figure out exactly how to twist it, because every character and every selection, some you have to twist it a lot, like completely spin it around. Some it's very delicate movements. I think it's Cat and Anna. All of their games, you don't even twist it. You just have to push the A button.
Right. Love micro games.
When you say when you say spin around a lot, I just imagine you spinning it on your finger like a basketball.
I wish.
David could never complete that game. It was tough.
Yeah. I do love that every so often, no matter like what selection of games you're playing, all of a sudden there will just pause and the game comes up and it just says don't move, and you have to hold it like as still as possible to not shake it.
Oh yeah, that drove me fucking nuts on the Smooth Moves, because like I don't even want to pick up the controller. Like, just don't touch it. Oh, I'm already holding it. Oh crap, I'm drunk. I've failed.
But aside from all the games, you can also collect like toys that also use the motion function. There's like a film projector, so you can fast forward and rewind by tilting it, or by tilting and twisting it. There's like one of those wind up snakes. You can unlock music in the game, and then you have to twist it to play it to get the record to start spinning on it. And just turning a Game Boy Advance around turned out to be so damn fun, and there's so many like applications to it. The reason that I went with the Super Mario Brothers theme is I wanted to confuse you guys, and also because that's like the boss game for 9-volt stage, who's got all the like nostalgic Nintendo ones, you literally play the first level of Super Mario Brothers, except it's on a cylinder. So you have to turn the Game Boy to get the ground to scroll for Mario to run. Like, you don't control Mario, he just stays put, and you have to move the level around him to get him to go through it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I don't know why. Like, were these games like testing grounds for things, concepts that would turn up in other things, or like are all the odd uses of these games just like confined to these games? Like, it seems like there's so much creativity, and it just, I mean, obviously in a WarioWare setting, it's all in a micro level. It's like 5 seconds of this crazy thing, but like, like, yeah, did they use these things going forward for anything else? I mean, like, how come they? Maybe it's because the Game Boy Advance, you need to actually make a game pack with a fucking accelerometer in it to do twisty stuff. But it just feels like there's too much creativity in these games for it to just be used for these little micro games, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I kind of feel like they might be a testing ground, because I know, like, on Smooth Moves, some of those motions and everything popped up again in like Wii Sports Resort and Skyward Sword.
Right.
I don't think they did it with the twisting. I don't think that came back again on the Game Boy Advance, sadly.
Right. But it seems like it could have by like the time the 3DS and DS came out. Like, I know the 3DS has like just tilting functions in it. Like, there's the mode that nobody uses in like Mario Kart 7, where you can tilt the 3DS and use it as the steering wheel to play the game. And it's like, when I found that, I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be a dope ass like WarioWare collection coming out for this bitch. This is gonna be so good. And unless
I was gonna say, that's what I got super excited about, is there's that new like WarioWare Gold that's basically just like all of the past mini games, and it includes a bunch of the ones from Twisted, because you can actually turn the 3DS around, and I'm really excited about it because, again, this game is fucking amazing.
Okay, good. I forgot they had announced that. I was like, as I'm saying, I'm like, now it sounds like this might have been something they announced, John. Check your brain. Like, did they announce a WarioWare collection? Yes.
WarioWare collection on 3DS that uses like all these features, that'd be amazing. Why haven't they done that? Wait, that's a good idea. Why haven't they done that?
Yeah.
Have they done that?
Maybe they're doing it. I don't know. Am I thinking of that Mario Party collection? No. This is definitely a WarioWare thing I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure it'll come out.
But yeah, whenever that game comes out, definitely give it a look. And if you can track down a copy of this game and you've still got a functioning Game Boy Advance or original DS, definitely pick it up, because the game is amazing.
Now, the last question, really, the question that is always important when playing a WarioWare game: how do you use the twisting function to pick the nose?
If I remember correctly, the nose is stationary, the hand is stationary, and as you tilt it, it moves, like it kind of slides the hand along.
Okay, good, because it's all I somehow I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just like an elementary schoolyard sucker, but I think picking that nose is just the funniest thing ever, and I'm happy to always do it in a WarioWare game. Like, the nose comes up, it's like, yes, what's the nose thing? Oh, I celebrated for too long and I failed the mini game. Oh man. But
And I love that, like, I'm pretty sure it's been in every single WarioWare game.
Yeah, because it's just so simple. Like, pick it.
It's so simple, but it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. I love it. Love those WarioWare games. Yeah.
David, I think you forgot to mention, you're listing the consoles that you can play this on. I believe owners of the Game Boy Micro can enjoy this game as well, can't they?
Technically, yes. I'm pretty sure that the game pack is like 2/3 the size of the Game Boy Micro, but you could conceivably do it.
Thanks, John. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Hey, he's contributing.
He is. He's reminding us of systems that I had forgotten that existed until he literally said that just now. It's like, the Game Boy Micro. What is he? Oh, yeah, that thing. that was that a real thing? Yeah, just the theme of the episode tonight is getting your wires crossed and forgetting if a thing was actually a thing. So Game Boy Micro, man. Actually, why wouldn't they have marketed the Game Boy Micro with WarioWare, like Twisted or whatever, Mega Micro games? It's a match made in marketing heaven. That's synergy, baby. Micro games, micro system for John Regan, micro penis. I mean,
Hey, too far.
I should have seen where that was going.
I'm going to edit that out. But all future utterances mentioning John's micro penis, those will stay. So let's go on to Game 5 and see how I can bring that up again.
Game 5.
I love you, John. Okay. So, after the killing of Harambe in the Cincinnati Zoo, internet shitlords wanted Harambe to be added to this game. Despite a change.org petition that went on to gain over 120,000 signatures in support of the proposition, there was no official comment from anyone affiliated with the game. So I know David's feeling good.
Although I'm kind of upset that there's a song that you didn't choose, but
Whatever. Take it up with my supervisor. So what do we got?
Yeah.
Everybody says Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's a hat trick.
is that our first hat trick of the night?
Yes, handheld episodes are not high-scoring episodes, David. I meant to remind you, never bring up episode 11. That was for a long, long time the worst episode of the show. Good times.
Only reason I knew this is because John uploaded the Pokemon Sun and Moon soundtracks to the GTT radio earlier today and needed help getting them loaded.
I might have been feeding Johnny a hint on this one. It's like, Johnny, I can't get Pokemon Sun and Moon playing on the fucking live stream. What's the problem? And John came up with an elaborate fix, and I got to listen to this delightful soundtrack all day. Because, man, is there some great ukulele in this game, and also some other stuff.
What was the first song?
I believe that was Vast Something Canyon.
Okay, that's what it was.
Pawnee Canyon. Delightful fucking song. From a delightful game that I did not play.
Really? You still haven't played this?
No, and I don't think I will. I wanted to, and then I remembered, John, you never really finished Pokemon X and Y. And I went back and I was looking at a little bit of Pokemon X and Y, and it's like, I don't know, man, I don't think Pokemon's really for me anymore. Like, it's I'm glad it's still a thing, glad it's popular. But I don't know, it doesn't really ruffle my feathers anymore. It doesn't really blow my hair back. But this was like so tempting to play just because of all the fucking Hawaii versions of Pokemon. I'm sorry, Alola versions of Pokemon. I kind of fell in love with the game just from them having alternate tropical silly versions of Pokemon from the original 151. I feel like they those were a really fun idea. And then once I found out that they didn't do the entire original 151 with fun island rhythms, then it's just like, well, okay, that's okay, I guess. But it wouldn't have been that hard to make just Alolan versions of all the original Pokemon, would it?
It couldn't have been that difficult to create brand new art and programming assets for 100 new characters.
They're not all that new. They're remixes of the original characters. I mean, I don't know, man. I was just thinking about it. I was brainstorming, and I mean, I could probably have worked with them and gotten at least the original 151 done. I'm not asking for every Pokemon in the history of the series to come back with some sort of island theme, but I don't know. I mean, what was your favorite Alolan remix Pokemon there, David?
Mine was the Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales.
Yes, take Vulpix and Ninetales, make it ice instead of fire. That's nice. Jesse, did you play Sun and Moon?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I did like what I did play of it. My favorite was probably the Executor.
Fuck yeah.
He's pretty awesome.
Alolan Executor is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I love it. Just take Executor and make it really, really, really tall. That's fucking hilarious. Johnny, did you see any of these? Do you have any? Do you have a favorite Pokemon remix from?
Alola Porygon is my favorite.
And describe it, please.
It's just so close.
It's just Porygon, but in a different color scheme.
Hold on, let me check my notes. Oh, he's right. That's definitely a real thing.
He has a hat.
It's Porygon with a fucking hat on. That's all it had to do. Or it's like Porygon, but it's like a fucking, I don't know, an ancient jungle temple stone instead of a fucking computerized character. I don't know. Like, it's not hard to make these characters.
Wait a second, was I right?
No.
Okay.
No, you were.
Porygon, they didn't update that one. But my idea for the discussion of this game, because I did not play it, was just to brainstorm a bunch of ideas and try and cover the original 151 with new Alolan forms. So the following is a list of my ideas for the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon when they inevitably come out and remix all 151 Pokemon into Alolan forms.
Is this a lightning round?
Man, I was actually kind of excited to discuss this game. I really liked this game.
No, I'm really excited to hear John's weird crackpot list.
Play the lightning round sound. No points at stake here.
Lightning round!
You have to get through this list as quickly as possible, and if you drop below 6 words per minute, the show will explode.
Speed through this. Bulbasaur with a tiny umbrella and straw in its bulb. Ivysaur with a lovely hibiscus flower. Venusaur, but the leaves fall down to form a grass skirt. Charmander, but somehow illegal fireworks. Charmeleon, wearing a straw hat. Charizard, eating a suckling pig. Squirtle Squad Squirtle with those dope shades. Wartortle, riding a dirt bike like Johnny Lawrence in Karate Kid. Blastoise with Kenny Powers' haircut and the shell is a jet ski. Caterpie, hanging on a fishhook. Metapod, still Metapod. Butterfree with kites for wings. Weedle is a pool noodle. Kakuna, also still Kakuna. Beedrill, but it's more like a horsefly. Pidgey, as the seagulls from Finding Nemo. Pidgeotto, as the seagull from The Rescuers. Pidgeot, the seagull from The Rescuers, Down Under. Spearow, but it's 6 or 7 sandpipers.
I have to stop you real fast. The Rescuers and the Rescuers Down Under was an albatross.
Yeah, whatever. You know. Spearow, but it's one giant sandpiper. Ekans, but it's green. Arbok, but it's green and bigger than Ekans. The Nido things, but they're a tourist family. Clefairy with a skimboard. Clefable, but it can ride a skimboard. Muscular Jigglypuff. Wigglytuff with a dad bod and a Speedo on. Zubat and Goldbat, but with super big eyes. Oddish, but it's a cherry tomato. Bloom, but it's a woman who drank a really strong Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Bloom, but it's a really strong Bloody Mary. Paris is a crab. It's basically perfect for this game. Parasect, but oh crap, it's actually a huge bug. Kill it. Venonat is an infuriating and itchy sand flea. Venomoth, but it's a drone that you bought from JCPenney. Psyduck, but it sells frozen custard. Golduck, that owns a frozen custard stand. Mankey playing Frisbee. Primate, not playing Frisbee, but it got hit by a Frisbee, and it's pissed. Water Growlithe. Arcanine off its right in front of the sign that says dogs must be on leash. Poliwag, but it's a plastic mold for making a Poliwag shape in the sand. Poliwhirl with a bag of assorted sandcastle buckets and an old football game souvenir cup. Poliwrath yelling at its kids for messing up its perfect wall on a sandcastle. Abra with sunglasses.
I like that one.
Alakazam, just a naked old man.
Ooh.
And Machamp. And Machoke. Really fucking leathery tan Machamp with a bunch of tribal tattoos. Bellsprout, but it's holding a sand dune together. Please don't pick it. Weeping Bell, it's a fish now. Victory Bell is a
fish.
Victory Bell is a giant sea cucumber. Tentacool doesn't change. Tentacruel, but it has sandals on all its tentacles. Ponyta being ridden side saddle by a woman with a flowy dress. Rapidash, but it's a fairy type, and it always runs straight out of a sunbeam. Slowpoke, but it's pronounced slow poke, and it's a delicious seafood appetizer. Slowbro, eating oysters on a half shell. Magnemite, but it's a Casio boombox with a bad FM signal. Asshole's obnoxious car stereo. Farfetch, but he's a grizzled bartender originally from Plano, Texas. Doduo, but it's the sheriff from Jaws. Dodrio, but he's Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws. Seal, like Seal the singer, but he's on vacation with his beautiful family.
Wasn't Jaws in Massachusetts?
Dugong, but he's passed out on the beach and getting a bad sunburn. Shelter, but it can burrow into the sand like those little periwinkles. Cloister, but it's a college guy who's good at beach volleyball. Ghastly is a fart that someone blew like 100 yards before anyone smelled it. Haunter listens to Bob Marley. Gengar, that's still a ghost but clearly went to Hawaii and killed himself. Onyx, but it grew moss on the rock, so it's also a grass type. Drowsy with a parrot head shirt. Hypno, that's literally Jimmy Buffett. Deviled Krabby Cake with local homemade remoulade sauce. Kingler, but it's a fire type now. Voltorb is a normal beach ball. Electrode, an upside-down beach ball. X-Egg Cute, but it's a set of bocce balls. Cubone, but it's playing happily in the water with its mother. Marowak in a kayak. Hitmonlee in flip-flops. Hitmonchan with a floppy hat reading Eat, Pray, Love. Lickitung is a cruise ship EJ who really wants to get people to do body shots. Coughing and wheezing, but they smell like sunscreen. Rhyhorn made of seafoam. Ride On with a mermaid tail. Chansey, but one of those giant party floats you see at Costco. Angela, but it's a gross pile of seaweed. Kangaskhan, but the baby keeps getting splashed in the face and it's starting to cry. Nobody likes Horsey. Seadra, but it's a dune buggy. Goldeen, the great white shark. Sea King, the megalodon. Staryu, but trapped inside a lamp inside someone's beach house. Starmie, but I don't know, like a parasailer. Mr. Mime, but painted silver and doing that human robot thing on the boardwalk for tourists. Scyther flying with a watery jetpack. Jinx wearing a two-piece. Electabuzz beating up the ocean. Magmar destroying an entire neighborhood with no end in sight. Pinsir, but it discourages horseplay. Tauros Trap. Magikarp the lifeguard. Gira David Hasselhoff. Lapras, but it's literally a water taxi. Even Ditto, but it's a googly-eyed clam. Eevee with a lay on. Vaporeon, but you evolve it with a Sublime mixtape. Everyone has to get out of the water. Flareon buried up to its head in the sand. Porygon shaped like an ancient jungle temple. Ammonite, but it just looks like Gary from SpongeBob. Amistar, but its shell is metal. Kabuto that freaks people out when they brush it with their feet. Kabutops that's a set of Kadima paddles. Aerodactyl, but it's the rotting side of an old boat covered in barnacles. Articuno, but it's a fire type. Zapdos, but it's an ice type. Moltres, but it's a helicopter tour of the bay. Dratini, but it's a super yacht. Dragonair, but it's shooting a music video on the super yacht. Dragonite, but it's Jay-Z, and the music video is Big Pimpin'. Mewtwo, but he can't stop focusing on work to see that family is what really matters on this vacation. Mew, but it's Captain Ron.
Wow.
I love how some of them are like, oh yeah, okay, actually that makes sense. It's like this, but a pool toy. Like, what?
So I'm just imagining you throw down a Pokeball and a gold duck and an entire Rita's Italian Ice pops out.
Yep.
I'm just imagining you throw out a Pokeball and it's fucking Kurt Russell as Captain Ron.
And he can learn any move. Jesus. Yeah, so Pokemon Sun and Moon, they're fun.
Oh fuck yeah, we were talking about that game.
They could have had more beach-themed Pokemon.
I did like the Karate Kid reference.
Yes, thank you. I was like, well, War Turtle looks like kind of a son of a bitch. What would he be doing if he were beach-themed? Oh, he'd be breaking up that party on a dirt bike and smashing someone's boombox, smashing up a little magneton.
Did you say one was literally Jimmy Buffett?
Yes.
Hypno is Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. Rousey wearing a parrot head shirt and Hypno is Jimmy Buffett. It makes perfect sense.
Just like the idea of Hypno having like his little like hypnotizing disc in one hand and a margarita in the other.
Yes. He's got a pencil thin mustache instead of that weird beard. Anyway. I kind of wanted to play these, but I don't know if the newer, more involved Pokemon games are for me. Maybe I'm basing it all on X and Y. I don't know if David, did they streamline these at all? Like, do they still have Pokemon Me in these games? Or
they do. but they change a lot. Like a lot of the structure is completely different. You don't have the 8 gyms. You go through different challenges across the islands. It's a really different take on like the classic Pokemon.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It was a really fun game.
I'm thinking about it because I mean I like the beach setting. I like they changed a lot about it, but I was trying to think if they had like all those weird kind of side modes that Pokemon XY forced you to do, like having fashion shows and shit. And like maybe I am just a little too old for this. Like I like the Pokemon aspect of it. I like the RPG-ness of it, but I don't like having to groom my Pokemon using the touchscreen and then put them in a fashion show. It's not really my kind of thing. But if they jettison that and just make it, Pokemon at the beach, I'm in favor of it. They got some fun Pokemon. There's like a evil sandcastle that eats people, and a
lot of the new Pokemon were really, really good.
There's
the Sandcastle,
the gorilla that everybody tried to get renamed as Harambe and it failed. So thank you Pokemon Company for not listening to them.
Wasn't there a newer Pokemon that's just like a pile of trash?
Yes.
Yes, that was from Black and White, I think. But this one has the drunk boxing crab in it.
I do like Drunk Crab. It was funny as I was, preparing for that lightning round. I was like, Kingler, but he's drunk. No, wait, that's a thing already. Like they already did Drunk Crab. Good for them. They took my suggestion. So maybe these games aren't so bad after all. Maybe I'm just telling you, give me a job at Pokemon Company. I need it. I need to be the guy. Like they need a new creative voice in the building. And it needs to be me coming up with new island Pokemon. I mean, if all future Pokemon games are going to take place in Pokemon Hawaii, like this game clearly does, then they're going to have to come up with island versions of all the Pokemon eventually. So, it'll be good. Happy to start my job there very soon. David, anything that you want to say about Pokemon Sun and Moon, since I have so thoroughly hijacked this segment of the show?
Were you really hijacking it if it was technically your segment?
Hey, I chose this knowing you would want to talk about it, and also knowing that I would not let you talk about it. So.
No, it was. I mean, I got X and Y, and I played through it, but I never finished it because it just kind of like, okay, it's more of the same Pokemon. And then I tried Sun and Moon, and they changed so much of it. Like I said, the kind of island hopping structure, the no gyms, the challenges that you go through. I thought it was really cool, and I really, really enjoyed the game. And a lot of the new Pokemon are great. It has a really good soundtrack. I was kind of upset that you didn't put Team Skull's theme in there, because that music is amazing.
I wasn't sure if the last song would actually give it away to you, but the Team Skull song would absolutely give it away to you, so I did not choose it. It's a lot of fun. And, rest assured, that's probably going to be playing the entire background of the lightning round on the podcast version of this. So,
Yeah.
You should download our podcast. It comes out Wednesday mornings, and it's got background music. Anyway, Johnny, shall we start the calculating computer?
I believe we shall. I forgot to load up a different one. Hold on. Sorry.
All good.
Usually during the last segment is when I load up a different calculating computer. I get so distracted by all these great Alolan Pokemon.
While you're loading it, I will begin my my ideas for the Johto Pokedex.
Calculating computer activated. Computers. Beeps.
Space!
Boops. Scoring complete. This game's winner is... John Harrington.
No way. Was I getting a point for all those lightning round things? Like, I didn't let any of you guys talk. I hijacked the show and got 150 points in the lightning round, didn't I?
151.
Yeah. What a mess. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take a win any way I can get it, man. Fantastic. So I had a theme in mind because, we're recording early to avoid going up against the fireworks on the 4th of July. Independence Day, as it were, here in America. The day when all the nations came together to fight back against the aliens, and declare in one voice that we will not go quietly into the night. We will not go without a fight. Today we declare the next theme. It's games that are the fourth in a series. I bet you thought I was going to say independent games or games with aliens, but no. I'm going the much more American route. We only call it it's the 4th of July, so next week it's fourth games. So, boom, fours in your face. And if there's any debate about whether or not a game is the fourth in the series, we're ignoring the handhelds. So, just figure it out. It better be real clear that it's the fourth game in the series, or it better have the number 4. Johnny, when did Sonic 4 come out?
Oh, God. 2008, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I just want to make sure that you're not going to try and pull, fucking, I don't know, some Game Gear Sonic game on us or something. Anyway.
As far as I'm concerned, Sonic Mania is the true Sonic 4.
Bingo. And that's not eligible for the show. So we'll just what happens next week, man. We'll work it all out. But yeah, fourth games on next week's Game That Tune. Lock it in. Thank you, everybody, for watching along with us. Thank you for listening. We're live typically on Wednesdays, twitch.tv/GameThatTune, youtube.com/GameThatTune, and facebook.com/GameThatTune. Had a lot of great chatter in the chat room tonight. A lot of fun. So thank you for our live viewers. And be sure to download our podcast in podcast form when it comes out Wednesday mornings. We're on iTunes and wherever you get your podcasts from. So check that out there. Thank you to everybody that checks out patreon.com/GameThatTune. It is the home for awesome exclusives. We just released another, slew of exclusives. David, what did you just publish at patreon.com/GameThatTune?
I put out a new mixtape featuring all music from Splatoon 2 to celebrate the Octo expansion and the game in general.
Yes, excellent. Fantastic mixtape. David always makes a fantastic mixtape, so you should definitely check that out. Jesse, what's your new exclusive over there at patreon.com/GameThatTune?
Oh, it's a new episode of Game That Tune Covered Up. This time we're featuring the band Random Encounter. So we got some great jams from them.
Excellent. And we all came together except John and made a new episode of GTT Gems for the month of June. Looking back 30, 20, and 10 years ago at video game music releases. We got some dope jams in this one, man. You got to check it out. I mean, we got like some fucking Double Dragon. We got some Metal Gear. 1998's always a highlight. And, we even got some new tunes from June of 2018. So, check out patreon.com/GameThatTune. If you like video game music, we're putting it out there with a little bit of discussion in between. And, we appreciate everybody that checks us out there. Thank you to our Patreon super fan tier producers, Alex Messenger, Lance Revere, and Andrew Oliver. You guys are fantastic, and we love you for supporting the show. And thank you to our requester, Dire Crow, at Dire Hunch Crow on Twitter. He is a fantastic frequent requester, and I do believe he's a patron with request priority. So thank you for being a patron as well. If you want to make a request, you can find us at Game That Tune on Twitter and slide into those DMs. Email us, gamethattune@gmail.com. Or find us individually on Twitter and bug us because we're always looking to talk with you guys. We love chit chat and we love talking about video game music. We love sending my man gifts from Justice League. So find us on Twitter. I am on Twitter at jgangsta187. You can find John Regan on Twitter at
JPReganJR. And I just want to take a hot second to point out that we have a new server set up for the 24/7 video game music live stream.
Ooh, okay, pause, John. Let's do this in a way where I'm going to edit it back in there to, be part of the Patreon thing. So Johnny didn't appear on fucking GTT Gems this week, but that doesn't mean he doesn't do anything for Patreon. He, he's running all our servers. He's just the man behind the curtain. He's the, the wizard of GTT. And he set up some new stuff for the 24/7 video game music live stream this week. So Johnny, what do you have for us?
Well, it's mostly just working again. We unfortunately had the server break, and so I bought and migrated to a new one. And we do have a new Weeaboo search mode where you can search for games by their Japanese transliteration.
Oof.
If that's something
Yep.
you're into.
Sure do. So if you like typing Japanese words in English, Game That Tune Radio is there for you, baby. Check out youtube.com/Game That Tune. Awesome.
Oh,
So,
and we do have a new scoring system. As you participate on there, you get points, and they're always a different denomination when you check what they are.
Lovely. That was important to establish. Awesome. I love what you're doing over there. If you like video game music, you should check us out at youtube.com/Game That Tune because we've got it playing 24/7. So, assuming it doesn't break, it will always be there for you. And now we are resuming from where I was. You can find John Regan on Twitter at
JP Regan Jr.
You can find David Fleming on Twitter at
DFD Fleming.
You can find Jesse Moore on Twitter at
Sega_legend.
Hell yeah, guys. So, happy 4th of July to anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching live. And we're going out with some music from a 4th game that may or may not be featured on next week's show. I might be showing my hand a little bit on this one, but this one might sound a little bit familiar. It's some song from some fighting series that I like. It's from Tekken 4. So peace out, everybody.
That's not it.
Nope. Is copyright 1989 Konami Company Limited. 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors is copyright 2010 Axis Games and Spike Chunsoft Company Limited. Sonic Chaos is copyright 1993 Sega Games Company Limited. WarioWare Twisted is copyright 2005 Nintendo of America Incorporated. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are copyright 2016 Game Freak Incorporated, Nintendo of America Incorporated, Creatures Incorporated, and the Pokemon Company.